Hey, welcome everybody. My name is Nacho Riesco. I am again streaming with ZBrush. I'm talking about the usage of ZBrush applied for jewelry designs. Welcome everybody. Here, uh, here we are again, 1 month again. This is the March streaming, so we will be talking more about jewelry designs. Hey Dexter, how you doing? You are always here. Really appreciate your support, and I'm glad to share my knowledge or whatever I can and show you as more as I can about ZBrush. Yeah, this is going to be the final the final streaming about this design. This is going to be the last live that I'm going to make talking about this design. I started I think 4 months ago or 3 months ago, so you should know that I only make one live per month, so that's the reason why it took so long. And let's see what can we do today with this design. I'm checking the connection, the streaming. Hey Harsh, saying hey, I'm doing well, thank you, and thanks for being here, watching the streaming. I think I am missing some comments. Let me see. Okay, it looks like everything is working. Hey, None, welcome. I don't know if I'm able to read the comments from Twitch. Not sure, but let's see. Hard side, yeah, you can ask me about chains. I'm not a big expert about chains because I never did any, because most of the commissions that I receive or most of the jewelry designs that I make are not related about chains. So I am not focused about the pendant, not the chain, or I'm talking about the bracelet or the ring. Hey Krunal, welcome. You are welcome. And still, I'm not sure if I'm able to read your comments, or if you are chatting from Twitch or from Facebook. Let me see. No comments in Facebook. I will make a comment to check. Yeah, it looks like Facebook is working. Maybe Twitch is also working, but nobody wrote a comment in Twitch yet. But okay, we can go ahead. We can go ahead. Okay, but looks like everything is connected and working. So okay, so as I've been saying before, this is gonna be the last live I'm going to make talking about this incredible design from René Lalique, very well-known jeweler and designer, I think from the 18th century. So this is a real master when we talk about art nouveau and organic jewelry. So it was very challenging for me to try to replicate this design. So it took, as I was saying before, around 4 or 5 streamings, just in case if you are interested on watching the previous streamings. You go to my YouTube channel. Here, all of them are gathered here. This is the one a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, and 4 months ago, and 5 months ago. So I started the design 5 months ago. So, and this is gonna be the 6th. So this will be the latest one. So you can find me on YouTube under my name, Nacho Riesco, and you will find the whole collection of all my previous streamings or and more videos related to my work. Okay, so hi Roberta, welcome. And this is what we did in the previous stream. We arrived here where we were making this part of the snake, making the different textures of the belly, of the scales. Also, I was working on this part, on this pattern, this kind of rainbow patterns or arcs pattern. We were discussing and talking about the best way for achieve this, and this is what we did so far. So, and I left the design here, during the month, or during less than a month, I was working on this, and I'm still having this. I was working a little bit more, of course. From here you can see it's just a repetitive work, because on the previous streaming I was struggling trying to find the best solution to make this kind of pattern on the body, or on the bottom part of the snake body, trying to find the best solution. Once I found a good solution, so I just need to start repeating the same thing to all of the different snake bodies. Right, so let me put some music. Hey Libra, welcome. And this is what I did. So as it is almost symmetrical, it is not 100% symmetrical, but it is almost symmetrical. From this point, it's just a matter of start duplicating, copy, and mirror it to the other side, and start making the final adjustment and the final composition for all of the bodies, for all of the heads, because this the top center knot or snake body is already finished with all of the textures, all of the parts of the stomach or the belly of the snake, with the head attached. Here it has a bit of different pattern here. I just decide, and here we have we still are having the same problem, because I didn't find any information about the backside. I will try in the future to go to this museum to try to check what is happening on the back, or at least trying to see the piece from the back, because you can visit this museum. It is located in Lisboa, in Portugal, so where you can see in live this amazing piece. So, and this is what I did in the second, during the time I could put on this piece till arriving here. So this is the final piece, right? This is the final piece just from renderer, when I was copying, duplicating, and mirroring the different parts to the other side. And when I was working here, almost this piece killed my computer, because I was making a lot of subtool with a lot of polygons, single subtool, or with each subtool having more than 2 millions or 1 million, 2 million, 2 million and a half. And then when I was trying to duplicate it and mirror them to the other side, the file becomes very dense, very heavy, very difficult to move. Then I was just, for example, if I click here and I zoom in, you can see I was decimating each piece. You can see everything is already decimated, has been decimated, just for making the piece lighter and easier to send to KeyShot for the final render. And this is how the final piece looks like. And just making a quick poly paint, just for making some BPR renders inside of ZBrush, and this is the final piece. So for today we're going to work on these parts, on these little rings, which they are attached to different parts of the body, and this is what we have so far. And still, I don't know what is happening in the back. I just put this kind of thing on the back just for covering the things that didn't look very good, because you can see that all of the bodies end here somewhere, and it was necessary to attach something on the back. So I will try to think more about the back side of the design, but I think I didn't, as I said before, I didn't find any information about the back side, because this piece is this big. This design is around this big. So it's a very big, it's around 21 centimeters from the bottom to the top. So we are talking about a huge piece, huge jewelry design. So it almost covered the whole chest from the neck here, from here to here. So I don't know which is gonna be the best way to find a solution for the back, because the piece is almost hollow inside. As you can see, these pieces works as a net, or as a mesh. So it is completely hollow, because you can see the original design. These little windows are covered with, in this case, with clear enamel, with black enamel, and they are not solid. I mean, the snake body, they are not solid, and also the snake here, it is not solid as well. There, it is just this thing. So they are just tubes, not solid things. So it's a good idea for make the design lighter. But as I was saying on my previous streaming, the idea of this is not making a printable or ready for manufacturing piece. This is just for fun, for learn new things, to enjoy with you on the streamings, and to enjoy the time put on sculpting this piece, and to make a good render for promotion. And that's it. Diego, thank you very much. Looks like Twitch is also working, and perfect. Let me check. Okay, that looks like yeah, Twitch is also working. Thanks, Emilio. Glad you like it. And this is what we have so far. So for today, I'm going to start working on these little rings that we have. We will start attaching, copying and attaching the rings. So it looks like also the rings are having a little amount of enamel, black enamel, or kind of coating, or kind of patina, that looks like on the recessed areas the colors are darker. But this is gonna be not so complicated than the rest of the design, but it's gonna be fun. And also I thought that could be a good idea for make a printable ring. So we can talk about today about the ring sizes and things like that, because we can make a real ring for sending for printing and for casting. Okay, so this is what we have so far. So the piece is almost finished. So I'm still working on the materials inside of KeyShot. I made some testings. I will share with you. I made a test. Show you a quick test I made. That's for just playing with the materials inside of KeyShot, because I want to make it as more realistic, or as closer as possible from the original design, or at least trying to get a good render for being for be post on my social media. I don't know if I'm able to show you it. I think I delete. Here I have some. Of course, maybe this one is not good. Maybe this one. You can see here I was playing with the materials inside of KeyShot, so I will try. Still a lot to do because all of the material are having colors. There are a lot of details inside of the colors. You can see the color variations inside of the enamel, and I will be working with the poly paint before send the pieces for render. For example, here on my enamel on the heads, the enamel are having just flat colors, so I will try to apply more tones, not just a flat blue color. So maybe we can try to apply more imperfections on different tones variations to make it as more realistic as possible. Okay, so that's okay. I think we're having with problem with the music or with the sound. Specific sound, the music a little high. Okay, let me. No, now if the music is not too high, maybe I can make it in my system. Check it out now, Dexter, please, and let me know if the music is working now better. Because I think I did something different on the restream settings, and or the interface looks different than before, and I'm not sure that I did something different, so the music maybe is too loud. But let me know if now it's working better. So I'm gonna delete this one, because just for every time that ZBrush start the auto saving, if you are having the toolbox here on top with a lot of things, with a lot of subtool, with a lot of polygons, the saving time will be a little bit long. So in this case, I gonna just keep this file open. I'm gonna delete the others, and that's it. So let's start with with a cylinder. Maybe we can attach the cylinder here. So let's append a cylinder just for making with the real, more or less with the real proportions. So if we put here just for knowing how big is this, we can start working, start making it smaller, even smaller. Maybe it's gonna be this big. We can squeeze it. Maybe it can be something around something like this. It's gonna be more or less, maybe a little bit smaller. Of course, it needs to be placed properly, but I think the size is gonna be realistic. This side, just leave this as a guide. I'm gonna start with another tool, make a polymesh, and append the ring, the cylinder we just created. This thing. Let's send it to the center, so it is exactly in the center of the 3D space. And I'm going to turn on my C grid. I'm going to draw and go into the front back section, clicking on map one, and let's import a crop image I just made for using it as a guide. So let's make it smaller. Let's make the grid even also smaller, grid size, something like this big. Then the size a little bit, the image a little bit bigger. Fill mode to 3, enhance factor at its maximum value, and enhance opacity around the middle, more or less like this. So maybe we can play with the horizontal placement, with the vertical offset like this. It's going to be a little bit bigger, maybe something more like this. Okay, I think this is going to be enough. Let's see if it is exactly in the center. For that, I'm gonna turn on the second axis. Maybe in this case, it's going to be the X. Where is the X? Just the X is here. If I send them both to the center, click 0. Here, now we are in the center. It's just for knowing where is the center, because I'm gonna try to put I'm gonna use just this image just for following the shape of the head. So let's click horizontal. Let's put it here almost in the middle, and that's it. Let's save this file. I'm gonna save this. This is going to be the ring. The ring. Okay. Hey Shakil, welcome. Yes, this is an amazing design. This is an incredible design. This is one of my favorite designs from Lalique. It seems like there are some songs that go a bit loud, and then when a quiet song enters, the volume seems to be okay. Okay, I'm gonna try to make the sound a little bit, but now the sound is almost. Maybe I can listen it in YouTube. Well, looks like now it's working, or better than before, at least. So now I'm we're gonna start making the head flat. Once we have the head, we will start bending it and make the arrangement for, because you can see is we just need to make different copies, different instances of the same head. So we are gonna need just to create one, and then we can start duplicating with a radial arrangement. So I'm going to append a cube, make it smaller because this is too very big. Make it smaller. Let's hide the ring. Let's keep the floor visible. I'm gonna use the cube just for cutting the back side, just for having the cube on the back, just for having the head on the back completely flat, because I'm gonna use the Boolean system inside of ZBrush. So, and also what we can do is we can use it as a support when we are inserting meshes with insert brush. I'm gonna start with the insert primitives. Insert primitives, let's start with an sphere. Let's put an sphere here. Let's split mass points. And maybe now I can, what I was saying before is, if I turn this on, the subtraction, if I turn on the live booleans, and I start pushing back, you can see here, you can use the cube just for cutting without 100% straight vertical cut on the back. So, and now I'm gonna start with this brush, trying to, let me find a good image for reference. Maybe this one. I think I was using maybe this one. No, this is a little bit blurred. Maybe this one. No, blurred as well. It's difficult to find good pictures of this design. It's difficult. Maybe this one looks better. Maybe this one. Or maybe this one. Yeah, maybe this one is gonna be good enough. Let's leave it this here. And then let's start pushing, pulling the geometry, just trying to match uh, the shape of the head. Here we are creating a relief, so I don't care about what is happening on the back because this piece is going to work as a relief. So the only thing we should take care of here is the topology, because as we are stretching the geometry during the process, we can take two ways. Dynamesh or being zero messing the mesh during the process, or we can use a Sculpting Pro. In this case, I'm gonna go with Dynamesh, for example. Let's geometry Dynamesh. Let's turn on Dynamesh. You can see the resolution is so low. So let's open this little dot and make it bigger. No, not that much, because here with 226,000 polygons is going to be more than enough for having a flexible and easy to sculpt surface. So let's start polishing this, and let's keep working on the shape. So how thick is going to be this? Maybe this thickness, I think, is going to be good enough. On the top, maybe it's going to be necessary to push this back a little bit. Because when you are creating reliefs, I recommend you just don't make it too blocky as it is now. So try to start growing the relief from here till reaching the maximum height and going down till the minimum or till the zero surface. Try to don't make it so blocky. So now I would like to remove this portion. So we can do that with different ways, but for example, I can grab the H polish without the sculptures, so I can start polishing here, polishing and smoothing the surface till having something less blocky than before. Something like this. It has a pointy nose. I love this brush. I use a lot this brush when I am blocking the forms. It's like using a file or a sandpaper when you are having a block of wax. When we talk about jewelry, most of the time this organic jewelry was sculpted with wax as sculpting material, not with clay or with other material. So with that brush, you have the feeling that you are removing material or you are using a file. So another brush that I love is this brush SK Slash from a pack of brushes from a Japanese guy. His name is Sakaki Kaoru. I think they are very easy to find on the internet. So I can start creating the NURBS or where the plane changes. So I can keep using the sanding paper or the file here just for getting the two different planes. So coming from a completely rounded surface, we can start getting a more hard surface looking piece, just making this. Nothing. You wish ZBrush was well easier to learn. I know what you mean. I know. I teach ZBrush. I have been teaching ZBrush for many years, and as a teacher, it's not good. Isn't good to say ZBrush is complex because it's like it's better to motivate the students, saying that the software is not difficult to learn. If not, maybe they can start not motivated enough. But being realistic, based from my experience trying to teach ZBrush, uh, it is not the easier software to learn because it is based on um, very artistical, maybe I can say very artistical rules. That means that you know how to draw or how to, you already know how to sculpt with, that doesn't matter what material. Maybe you can start learning ZBrush with less time, but you come from CAD software or with the traditional modeling, maybe ZBrush could be a little bit less friendly to learn because, and that was the 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 point that I found better about ZBrush when I found it, because this is my first 3D software I used many years ago, and the thing that I love more about ZBrush is how easy to learn because I could start creating shapes just using brushes on my hand, of course using a tablet or a Wacom as I'm using now. But you can grab a sphere and start pulling and pushing the mesh and start getting the right shapes. It is not necessary to have a deep or big, a strong or big knowledge about 3D or technical knowledge. So just with your knowledge about the sculpting or about drawing, you can start making things. The interface and the buttons and the workflows is just a matter of time. So once you know what you are doing, and today there are a lot of tutorials, a lot of people who are open to learn, to teach what they know. This is another good point about ZBrush, because today we have a lot of people who are using ZBrush and who are able or who are open to teach ZBrush. So just in case you are having a question or you're having a doubt, for example, like we are here today making this streaming, you can send your ask your questions. You will have a lot of people answering you, giving you solutions about a specific thing that you need to create. So but I know that ZBrush is more based on artistical skills rather than technical knowledge, I think. Maybe the beginning is hard for you. You are using Cinema 4D because of first the interface is completely different. The logical and the logic of the interface is completely different as well. The way that ZBrush works is completely different as well. So everything is completely different. Maybe that's the main reason why you are finding ZBrush difficult to learn, or more difficult than other softwares, because I don't know, but probably if you are using Cinema 4D and you need to start learning Maya, for example, or 3D Max, maybe the learning curve will be shorter or will be easier for you because you already have the concepts about how to create objects inside of a 3D modeling software. But when you change the modeling software uh, by sculpting software, everything changes. The rule changes. So you should start everything from scratch, almost. Not everything, because you already have the feeling of working with a 3D tool, but the rules, almost all of the tools, it changes. And this is the thing that I like more about ZBrush, because see, you are not a technical guy. You can start making things without having technical knowledge. Just, of course, you can start refining what you are doing once you start learning ZBrush from a more technical point of view, because you're gonna have a deeper knowledge about the menus, the buttons, the different workflows or different techniques. But it's just a matter of time. So just, and today I say again, it's much easier to find information about ZBrush for learning a specific thing or trying to solve a specific problem. The community today is much bigger than I started using ZBrush 17 years ago. So today you are able to find much more people, much more ZBrush users who are open to share their knowledge. Okay, let's. This is going to be, so we can, for example, we can grab another sphere. Here is a lot working with little pieces of clay. Just I need another piece for the jaw. The split mass points. So let's make it longer. Put it in place. What is the jaw? The jaw is going from here to here. Is this long, more or less, like this? It's not so high than the head, so it's this thing. And I can, I am already using Dynamesh. We can do this. Maybe I'm having a problem now with the music. Let's see if I can use this another application for music. Let's click. Okay, so let's start using this piece for start getting the shape of the jaw. The good thing about this brush that I'm using is that you can see I'm not using symmetry. The symmetry is turned off. But the good thing about this brush, which is great for working for reliefs, is the thing, and the points I'm moving here. This brush is replicating the same thing in the back, because he is using, this brush is using the depth information on the canvas. So that's the reason why I don't care about what is happening in the back, because I know that what I'm doing on the front is happening on the back. This is an amazing brush that I use a lot when I sculpt reliefs, or it's very useful for sculpting reliefs. Boolean, here's thinner, here's thicker. Maybe I can push this up a little bit. This. Comments. My comments are missed, so I keep working. You have any questions or suggestions or comments about what I'm doing, or about a completely different thing you need to know? about this design, about other designs, about my work, about ZBrush, just go ahead and spot a little bit thinner. Again, this brush, because the jaw is having two depressions here, one here, another one here, something like this, right? Maybe I like to use the clay build up without any alpha attached, so you can the jaw is almost done. We can curve a little bit here. When I'm using ZBrush or when I'm making my streamings, I like to talk about traditional sculpting techniques or I don't know how to say it's sculpting techniques or traditional methods, because I come from traditional sculpting miniatures when I was making little miniature in my childhood with plasticine, with epoxy materials, scale figures, and I like to use ZBrush like sculpting in clay. This is, everybody knows that ZBrush is what you are doing with ZBrush, of course, is sculpting in clay. But when you are using ZBrush, probably all of the tutorials, all of the people you are finding are always talking about vertices, sides, polygon, meshes, and so on. And I like to talk about more about remove material, add material, sanding a surface, using a file for making one surface flat, or cut little thing, one part, and talking about using those words instead of technical 3D words. Well, we are talking more about topologies and about topologies are about, I don't know, polygons and stuff like that. Your comments, just in case I missed any. Okay, let's put the eye here. As you can see here, I like to split everything into individual parts. So at this point, I'm not welding or merging anything. So I like to keep in the all the puzzle, all the subtools as individual parts. Maybe I can create a mask here because it has some kind of angry face or something like this. It's closer to the reference. Yes, so angry. And let's start creating the tongue. Oh, I forgot to. I can use the same subtool, duplicating. And I can use the same for placed. Where is the teeth? Here. I can squish the sphere and using the taper option inside of here, taper. So we have something, and maybe we can use the arc to start bending the, or creating this, things like this. And we can put the teeth here. Just polish it. The same thing here. Just start polishing the surface. Yes, okay, more or less like this. Let's fix a little bit the right shape for the head. Okay, something like this. Music today is this one is even worse. Okay, let's see. Come on. Okay, this one is maybe it's a bit better. So we can use for create the tongue instead of maybe the fang is not so long. It's gonna be to make it something like this. And for the fang, instead of using there is something that still doesn't work. Maybe you can start fixing a little bit more the head. Yeah, instead of, I was saying that instead of using a sphere with the insert brush, I can use this curved tube snap just for creating the tongue with one stroke like this. Maybe longer like this, split mask points, and now we're having the tongue like this. Maybe it's a little bit narrower of this, and we can change the profile of tube, making something like this. We will see how it works when we start creating the arrangement, the circular arrangement. And for the neck, maybe we can do the same thing with the curved tube snap. We can start like this. Split mask points, and this thing is gonna be the neck. Maybe it has to be bigger. This has to be more or less this way, and let's convert this into Dynamass. A little bit more resolution, a little bit more. Okay, like this will be enough, and let's start polishing this. And the neck should be thicker. Maybe we can use the back face mask to make it thicker, like this. Smoothing this, and maybe this, the end will be closer to the surface. If I use the Boolean, this should, the icon is wrong. You can see I'm using the negative icon. That's the reason why. Maybe the jaw, I'm having a problem here with the jaw. It should has this shape. Maybe we are almost done. I don't like the shape of the head. Let's try to change it. Maybe it's more rounded at the end, like this. Let's check more references. I think it works. You can see here, this one is good. Or checking the shape. Maybe I need to lift up a little bit this corner. A little bit more. I need to lift a little bit this part. And this, it has some more square jaw, like this. The tongue is thicker here. With the back face mask, when you need to add thickness, it's good. It's going to be something like this. To make it thinner, I use this brush, the pinch brush. Okay. We can also here. I think I need to create this form here. Let's refine. Maybe it is having. It is the next hasn't bangs at the bottom, or at least the same with the same shape or with the same form as on top. Okay, the music here today is, let me find. I'm gonna change again the music for the third time. Let's stop this one. Let's or without music. Okay, so today I'm not very comfortable with the chat. I mean with the interface, but I don't know why. Maybe I'm not receiving the comments, or maybe why the music doesn't work. Here it works, but here not. Okay, I don't know what happens with this music today. Let's try to find. I'm sorry about this. Okay, let's keep working. So maybe the shape is a little bit different. I'm having something more like this. I'm still using this brush, H polish brush, for finding the right shapes. As I was saying before, having the feeling that I am removing material or I am sanding the surface. So this is going to be very small, so maybe this part is too thick. Maybe the neck has to be more something like this. And maybe I can apply something like this. Maybe I will start using the ray mesh for making the distribution. Maybe this part should be lower, this part should be lower as well, and this should be a little bit on top, like this. And maybe I'm gonna grab a portion of here. I'm going to make a mask here. And I'm going to grab this portion of the mask and push this down till having something like this. Something like this. The fang now has to be, it's almost touching the tongue. Like this. Sometimes simpler things are the more difficult ones. The head looks like simple, head is small, but sometimes it's difficult to grab the likeness. Let's grab this, grab this. Okay, so maybe this has some square flat surface on top. Let's see how it works. Maybe the eye, we need to make it thicker or bigger, like this. I think is going to be enough. Never is enough, so always as more as you are seeing, as more you want to change things, used to happens. Okay, let's save this. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do now, it's time to start merging all of the tools together. For that, I'm gonna create a folder. This is gonna be the head. Put everything inside of the folder. And what I'm gonna do is, let's merge the folder. I'm gonna keep all of the subtools as a backup, as a copy, as the original head. And here I have the head. So now it's time to start working on the ring. So let's push this out, maybe here, and comparing more or less the size. Let's see if we adjust better the reference image using the horizontal distribution, something like this. Yeah, I think it's going to be enough. Maybe this part should be lower and lower. Okay, so I'm gonna bend it. There are different ways for bending things inside of ZBrush. Maybe in this case, the fastest one is going to be this one, bend arc. So we will be able to start bending this. But as we are using different polygroups, we can control tap here. And because every time we are using the bend arc option, also we are applying a deformation to the mesh. In this case, it's going to be better to try to avoid deformations like this. And for this, I'm going to use the transpose line with the Alt key applied. So I'm going to start changing the shape. like this, bending. And now with the same brush as I was using before, I'm gonna start with the topological back base mask again, but just individually each. At this point, I'm not very worried about how beautiful the topology looks like, but at this point, I'm just worried about how it works. Maybe it should be a little bit more on top, something like this. Yeah, let's change the shape of the ring. This ring is not flat. It has kind of a belly for that. I'm gonna start using C modeler. For example, in this case, you can apply a poly loop here. Here, let's create a QMS applied to the poly group all. So have this. Check the size of the ring. Let's check how big, so the head needs to be a little bit smaller, like this. And just grabbing a mask of the polygons from here to here. Maybe we can blur the mask and we can change a little bit the shape of the wrap. You can make it thicker like this. So now let's fix the neck. Looks like the neck is also blurred with the border. Let's see. Now let's leave it as it is, something like this. Okay, Baxter. So if I can explain how I made the belly part of the snake, sure, I will show you that now. So let's start removing or sanding the surface here. And now I think the belly is the easiest part of the snake. Maybe. I mean that the scales are more difficult to arrange. Okay, let's start using let's say this first. Okay, one thing that you should take into account when you are about to start using the ray mask is, for example, is checking how many polygons you are using. For example, you can see here only one head is having more than 1 million, and we are going to create a lot of copies of the same piece. So that means that we can have problems with that, because we are going to start multiplying 1 million by as many pieces as necessary. So for that, it's going to be a good idea to decimate it first. Maybe we can go to 150,000 polygons. You know that you can find these presets or decimations inside of the decimation master plugin. So now we're having 150,000 polygons, and now we can go to array mask. 2 more steps to take. So lock the position and reset the pivot point. So what we want to create is to make a rotation, the amount 360 degrees, and how many copies. We are going to start repeating this thing. It is going to be something like this. And the cool thing about using this method is we are not creating physical copies. We are just rendering what is happening if we multiply one piece by, in this case, by 10. So here, that means that, for example, if I change one, I will update the others automatically. And this is going to be very useful, for example, to start creating the final adjustments. Let me check. Okay, this thing should be here, and this thing should be here below. Maybe I can grab the SKS last to start pushing back like a little bit the geometry here. I can start smoothing the surface. And you start, for example, when you are working with a decimated mesh like this one, sometimes it's difficult to sculpt, but you have the help of the Sculptist Pro. So with the Sculptist Pro, will work better, or you can turn this off and you can fix things, for example, like this. See what happens. Now it looks better. Now better, and see the tongue. Maybe 9 is better than 10. Yes, right? I think 9 works better so than 10. So we can start changing the tongue. Maybe this part of the neck needs to be more closer to the surface, because you can see that the jaw is on top. So the jaw is on top, so I need to push this out a little bit and keep working. In this case, it's gonna be better, instead of take a look to the snake head, it's better to take a look to the empty spaces, to the negative spaces. For example, this space, and this space. And what I'm seeing here is this space is too big compared with the original. That means that the head needs to be longer, the jaw needs to be closer to here, and the tongue needs to be a little bit more around here. And here we have a triangle, and the vertex of the triangle ends here. So many times it's easier to pay attention to the negative spaces instead of the positive forms or the mass or the volume. I don't know how to say, but I think you know what I want to say. See that the tongue is almost touching the top of the head. That means maybe the head needs to be taller here. And we are having more or less something. Maybe for making the mesh a little bit more sculptable, maybe we can, let's save it first, just in case we have problems. Now we can use where is the series measure, give me the same amount of polygons for having a friendlier mesh for sculpting. Okay, like this. We are still having a low amount, so we are not going to have problems with the array mesh. So let's fix things. We can keep arraying. So now we can, let's start subdividing this. that means that we need to push in the neck. Almost done. Now I'm using the move topological. With the move topological, you can work with the individual pieces. So when you are touching one part of the mesh, you don't affect. Looks like the jaw is longer. Looks a bit strange when I'm making the jaw so long, but it's touching the head of the next shape. Now we can use this brush with the focal shift to -100 to start creating a mask here. Auto groups. Let's add more intensity, less lazy radius. Smaller brush size. This same thing here. Yes, something like this. And we're almost done here. And polish a little bit this. Change a little bit here the shape. It looks like it's almost done. What we can do is try to make using this, instead of make it completely solid, we can let me check the polygroups. Here we have one polygroup. Let's change the auto groups. So I want to select this polygroup and this polygroup, create a mask, and let's send it to the center, and just for creating a little bit depression there. Let's shrink the mask and start polishing this. I want to use you and you and make a mask, invert the mask, and let's push this in a little bit more, so for getting more something like this. Okay, let's save this and let's talk about your question. Ring Dexter, you were asking, I'm sorry, that's the thing that I said before, so you never finished. What is that here? This is the original one, and this one should be more here. Okay, now yes, I promise. Thanks, Baxter. So looks like, let's see how it looks like with the gold material or something like gold. So I think it's gonna be good enough. It's not finished yet, but for example, you want to work on, you were saying to work on the belly, maybe I can, let me load. This is the version I was using on my previous stream. It should be this one. When I was creating this part, right? This no, this is the head. This part, right? The planks. This. Let me find first the right subtool. Must be this one. No, this one. No, must be this one. No, must be this one. This one. Come on. Oh, this one, for example, right? Let's turn. So when you're having a mess, this is the reason why I have having this with different polygroups. Let's make a new group again. U and U. Control W. So you're having this mess. So a mess. You were sculpting the shape of the snake, and you are having the snake body split into different polygroups. The belly, the body, one side of the body, another side of the body. And in this case, we are having a central part of the body. Most of the cases, we're only having two parts. The bottom part, where we are having the planks or the texture of the belly, and the upper part where we are having the snake, the scales, right? And for the belly, so the mesh already has UV map. So you remember that you need to make the UV process using the UV master for create the UV coordinates. Now if for checking if we are having UVs, going to UV mass and morphing the UVs. So if you're having this, this means that the mesh is having UV coordinates. Or so for making the belly is you get into the surface noise, edit, noise block, where are you? Edit, I'm sorry, edit, and you need to use this option, the stripes. This is very useful for making the planks of the snake. So now the good thing about this is that you can control the angle, you can control the angle here, the offset, you can control the size. So once you like the distribution of the planks of the belly texture, you isolate the polygroup that you want, where you want to apply the texture, and now mask by noise. So you will transform the noise into a mask. So and now in this case it's just a matter of invert the mask. Maybe I can, in this case we can grow the mask and invert the mask, and now is just you just need to go to subtool, extract, subtool, extract with the necessary thickness. In this case it was 0.0013, extract as many polygons you have from the original mesh. The waiting time will be longer, so click on accept and you will have this. And now from this point you can start polishing, or you can start zero measure it if you need, and that's it. Thank you very much, Rusty Cage. And this is the method. For example, you can see one more thing that I can show you here. You can see here the bellies, the part, it is not straight. Here I have this shape, but I have it here, they are completely flat. Looks more robotic or more hard surface looking finishing, but I'm looking for more something like this. When I'm having this finishing, it's like they start growing, they're having this kind of shape. They start from the minimum thickness to the maximum thickness. They are having something more like this, right? Instead of completely flat like a robot. So what you can do to achieve that, what you can do is keep in mind that we are using different polygroups. We're having the polygroup on the front, the polygroup on the back, and the polygroup on the side, on the profile. As easy as Control Shift and tap on this polygroup. The others are hidden. Now you can apply a mask now. Invert. You can now, once the mask is applied, You can Control Shift and tap to make everything visible. And now you can start shrinking the mask. So go into the more masking, shrinking the mask, shrinking, 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 as many times as necessary. So we need to mask a little bit far away from the border. Okay, so keep shrinking the mask. Now you can invert the mask, and now with the gizmo, when the yellow square in the middle, with the control key, you can start inflating just this part like this, and you will have the shape you are looking for, more puffy or more like a cousin shape. And that's it. You can now polish it a little bit with the polish by feature, polish normal. Now you will get this shape. For example, the opposite thing you can do here, you can see the scales, they are concave instead of convex. So, but once you are having the mask applied, so instead of start inflating the mask with a positive direction, you can start using another direction to start getting something like this. So now you're having more concave forms. Now start polishing, and now you're going to start getting something like this. But in this case, it's completely the opposite. They are not concave, they are convex. And that's it. Let me know if you have more questions or more doubts about this. So we can come back to the ring. The ring we are creating. Let's check more references for knowing we are making things properly. Maybe the nose needs to be longer. Something like this. And we don't want to create a very thick piece, so let's push this in a little bit more, so we are not making it too thick. Okay, once we are happy with this, then it's time to call it finished. Yes, maybe I'm going to make the ring here. And now I'm going to save it. Ring. And now I'm going to create the Boolean operation. So going to keep in the live Boolean button active, go into Boolean, make Boolean mesh. So I'm having this. UMass now is composed by two different, I'm gonna merge them down together, merge down, and I'm gonna convert this into a Dynamass. I'm gonna tell you why after. So this is, you can see we have many different polygroups. Now I can go to the C plugin, Dynamass utility, maybe a new Dynamass of 1.5 million. It's going to be good, Dynamass. So it looks like the program is not giving to me the right amount. Let me check why. Maybe the object is very small. The resolution the plugin is giving to me, maybe here's gonna be better. You're having this problem, you should turn this, open this little dot, increase your resolution and try it again. Ooh, maybe the value is too high. Yeah, 4 million. 4 million is not necessary. Maybe less resolution. A little bit less. A little bit more. 1,256,000 is going to be enough. Okay, the reason why I made this is for having. I'm gonna isolate this polygroup. I'm gonna repeat the same technique as before. Control tap to create a mask, apply a mask, grow the mask. No, grow the mask, no, the opposite. Shrink the mask. Shrink the mask. Now I can shrink a little bit one more time, 2 more times. Invert the mask, and now I'm gonna inflate it negative. Something like this. Blur the mask, and now apply a negative strength like this. I can now apply polish, and now I'm having the shape I am looking for. A little bit more concave forms between each head, so it looks more realistic. Having a problem here. What is happening here? Only here. Happens there. Something's strange here. Let's come back to the original. You know, it's this one. Something strange is happening here. Oh yeah, because I was having the cube visible. I should turn this off before making the Boolean. So okay, let's repeat. Let's push this in again, and now let's repeat it again. Let's save this. Effect on the hit animal. Yeah. You are welcome, Fexer. Glad you like it, and let me know if you have more questions about this. Hi, Said. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. And let's create the Boolean again, make a Boolean mesh. This is the new one. This one looks good, so merge them down again. Let's create a dynamesh. I think it was around 900. Let's dynamesh. Okay, it's okay. Isolate this polygroup, create a mask, make everything visible, shrink the mask, blur the mask, invert the mask, and we can push this in. Start polishing the surface. Let's go in the mask and let's start polishing. And we are having, now it works. Now it works. I'm gonna, with radial symmetry in y-axis. I'm going to make this border a bit more rounder, not so sharp. Like this. And that's it. We already have the ring with the snakes. Okay, I'm going to append. Let's come back to the original. I'm going to append the result, this one. And I'm gonna save this file. So here is who can we estimate the weight of a piece of metal? It's in Kitco. Yeah, the same questions. Looks like Kitco stops working. Let me try it again. If we go to the C plugin, where am I here? Where are you? Kitco, metal quotes here. When I try to get this, maybe you are trying this error. This error is related, I think, as far as I know, it's not related to the plugin itself, and it is not related to your ZBrush version. This issue is related to the code that the plugin has and connects with information of the website, grabbing the different prices and the different weights or quotations for each metal, but it still doesn't work. You need to go to go into transform and click on analyze, selecting subtools. And please choose. The first step to take is the selected to smooth has the generic size units off, but in this case is this little thing is 17.8 millimeters by 8.71 millimeters. So please select the closest side and unit of measurement for the subtool. So in this case, I'm going to select this one, and you will get here the cubical volume. Subtool volume is 1.570. And as far as I know, you need to multiply this number by 0.05 for getting the weight of 8 karat yellow gold. Or maybe talk with your jeweler to know the density of the metal that you are looking for, and you should multiply the density of the metal by this volume, and you will get the. We are still waiting for the new Kitco plugin. They are still working on it, so but it is not fixed yet. This is the other thing that we can do now. Knowing the volume and then multiply it by the density or having the weight. Okay, this is what we have now. So I'm going to close this because this file is very heavy. So let's delete this one. And I'm going to open the one I'm going to use just for rendering, which is decimated. Decimated is next for rendering. This one. Frame. Oh, I made this kind of drapery for this as a background. So let's hide this. So now I'm going to append the ring we just created, but instead of using 1 million, let's decimate it maybe by 150,000 polygons. Like this. And now we can come back here. Let's append the ring. The ring is here. Maybe following the original picture, we can start putting the rings in place. Now, it looks like there are different sizes. Maybe we have here. We have this is the biggest. Okay, this one should be here somewhere around here. Maybe sort of a taller like this. Maybe a little bit smaller. Maybe here we are. It's maybe gonna be a little bit lower with a little bit smaller. Maybe something like this. We can make a copy. Maybe it's gonna be necessary to fix the position of some snakes, but I think it's gonna be enough. Or leaving it here like this. Maybe bigger. Let's push this in. Maybe a smaller. Okay, we have two. Maybe we can create a copy of the third. Control drag. As this one is smaller, maybe it's gonna be enough. This side. The distance between each other, maybe this one needs to be a little bit here. And still using this one, I'm gonna control drag. Here we have one more. This one looks like it's smaller than the others. Okay, let's go for the last one. Control drag, and it's somewhere around here, like this. I will look to see this in reality, this piece, because I have a lot of doubts, a lot of questions about how some parts works. But I will take a lot of pictures when I have the chance to visit the museum. I have a lot of questions about this piece. They salt when they manufacture it, so maybe taking pictures with the picture or observing the real piece, that will answer my questions. Because I think that it was very challenging to manufacture this piece. Okay, let's make this one bigger. Today you are very quiet, not very comments or people asking or making comments. I don't know if that is good or is not good. My next stream, I will start thinking about which is going to be my next, the next design that I'm going to make with ZBrush. Whoops, here I'm having a problem. It was working on the front, but it didn't work on the back. So now it's just a matter of trying to find a good position. Maybe this. Oh, I think this is good enough. Maybe the original looks a little bit smaller. I will tweak them a little bit more before sending send the file for the final render. Okay, like this. And you can see now the design has a little bit of an arc shape, because I can figure out that it's better for when the piece is on the chest. That's the reason why it is not completely straight. It has a bit of arc shape. Thank you, 3D Pixel. It took a lot of work to make that, and with a lot of repetitions, a lot of I'm working on this now. But this was very fun. Like this, and then it's gonna be enough. Okay, let's leave it like this. Hello, Pao Kwang, Reaper Jung, thank you very much. Let's apply a gold color. And now let's start creating, let's see, using this option, mirror and well. Oops, we are having, you can see, being copying the same one 4 times. We are starting from 105,000 polygons and we are reaching almost 5 million. This is gonna be a problem for Keyshot, I think, or maybe not, but let me check the topology. Okay, let's change now. Let's say 500,000. Maybe I attached the wrong. I am noticing that I attached the wrong file, because I was using the Dynamesh one with 1 million. So let's custom one. Let's decimate it first. Maybe this will take a bit because we are started for almost 5 million. But the Decimator Master is a very efficient plugin. It doesn't take too much time making the necessary operation for getting the final mesh. You can see how fast it goes, but when you try to decimate meshes of 5 millions, maybe you should wait a little bit more than usual. If I finish the job for this caliper, I will spam the nerves. Even in the moon. Yeah, I will try. I will do that for sure. But at some point, when I am posting many renders and I'm talking always about the same thing, I start getting a little bit feeling, having a feel of I am posting too much, or I am start getting bored. So the people are start getting bored about watching the same thing over and over again. But I think that in this piece deserves many renders and many posts. I am agree with you, but I will try to don't make too many. So let's mirror well now. But the snakes are not completely symmetrical. You can see here, they are not completely symmetrical. So it's gonna be necessary to fix this. I'm gonna decimate this as well. Yeah, now it's fulfilling. Yes, I'm agree with you, 3D Pixel. Once you complete it, but during the process, it was hard to believe. I don't like to make a very long projects, because in the middle of the project I start getting tired and I used to disconnect. But in this case, it was very challenging for me from the beginning till the end. I don't keep the polygroups. The only way that you can, good question, 3D Pixel, for example, or let's make a mirror well of this one. If I duplicate, you made a very good question, because if I do this and do it, I started from this point. You are having polygroups. The only way, for example, you go to Z plugin, you open your Z plugins and you go to the decimation master. The only way that you can try to retain the polygroups when you go from, like in this case, from a Dynamesh to a decimated mesh. The only option that you have here is use and keep polypaint, just using polypaint. For example, you can, for example, I want to keep, in this case, if you want to keep all of them, maybe, okay, it's not impossible, but it will take more time than expected. For example, I want to keep this polygroup. I select this polygroup and paint it with any color. For example, let's paint it with red. That's RGB fill object. And now you have this. And for example, I want to keep this polygroup, the head, for example, this polygroup, the snakes, the whole snake as one polygroup like this. Or the problem is this is merged together. So okay, let's hide this. So I want to keep this. Let's paint this with blue, fill object. And now we are having this. And now when you are decimating your mesh, you should turn this on. And now you can decimate it. This is the only way that I've found. You can keep UVs as well when you're decimating your mesh. And once you have this, the mesh decimated, you can see you are still having the colors. You can go to the polygroups here and polygroup from polypaint. And now you can have different polygroups. One polygroup, another polygroup with a decimated mesh. This, I think, as far as I know, this is the only process that you have. And this is going to be useful for me because I want to, when I am making the render, I'm going to apply a different material at the bottom for having this kind of black portions here at the bottom. But maybe it's not going to be necessary because here it is not happening here, but it is happening here. It is not happening here. Maybe I can make a solution, find a solution for this using another technique, but you can use this. What about the jagged lines? Okay, to run up, yeah, for removing the jagged lines, for example, this kind of jagged line you are having, because you are making a polygroup based on this topology. That's the reason why you are having so jagged lines. What you can do is, let me turn off the line, go into the masking section and make a mask based on polygroups. And now you can you're having a mask in the border of each polygroup. Invert the mask, and now you start polishing. Apply polish by feature or polish by groups, doesn't matter. Both will work. So let's go to deformation, polish by groups, and do it. So polish by groups, you'll start getting a sharp or better border between each polygroup like this. Let's turn off polypaint. And now you can see here you are having a soft line. But don't apply, because if you go from here and you apply a polish by, let's go to the jagged edges again. Come back here. You started from here. Of course, if you apply polish by feature, you will make the same thing, but you will apply the polishing to the whole thing. So it's better to apply the mask and then just polish by groups or by features in the border of each polygroup, and that's it. And with that, you can start making a lot of things. Or another option you can do, I can tell you, is start using this special smooth by groups. So now, but with this, you should go one by one polishing the borders by hand. So by hand, so one by one, not one all at once. So, but you will get almost the same result using this option with a small brush size. With a radial symmetry, you will make all of them at once, and you will apply the necessary strength where you consider necessary, because you will make it manually instead of apply a polishing to everything, just applying, just using this slider, and then you will get this, and that's it. That's the answer to your question. Okay, now it's cool. Gonna do that right now. Cool. I was gonna brute force at first with the smooth groups. Yeah. Cleaner and quicker. Yeah. Approach retaining the original detail. Thank you. Yeah. Don't forget that you have many different options when you want to apply a mask to a mess. The inside of the mask menu, you have a lot of options for masking. Where am I? Here. And you can create a mask based on groups, based on an open border, or mix on creased edges. And these three options are very useful for many different cases. For many different cases. Here I'm watching a mistake in my. I think I should push this in a little bit more because I'm having this problem here because I am intersetting. Okay, like this better. Okay, so now I can apply a mask to this one and start putting in place. For example, this one, for when you are having different options with different pieces, different objects, you can auto groups and you will get a different polygroup to each one. And for a fast masking application, it's gonna be very good because control and tap here. So now this is a mask, so I can move this one without affecting the others. So let's go control tap. Let's move it to the right. Center it. Okay. Control tap. You should be a little bit more to the right. Well, a little bit more to the front. And now fix it. Control tap. This one should be on the front. Oh no, because this is not your place. The place should be here. Okay. Okay. So this should be more or less around here. Something around there. So I think there you go. Now we have the design finished. It took many hours, this thing. So now from here is just a matter to start creating renders. So what you're rendering, this is one part of the process that I enjoy a lot. Once you have the model and you start making renders, so I can, let's try to get softer shadows, changing the angle and reduce the strength of the shadow. Yes, I will make renders. I already did some renders in KeyShot. I will show you. I was making some testing. I'm gonna show you which one I have. This. I was making some test here. This one I don't like with different lights, or this with different. I've been trying with to achieve the right materials with the right lighting, with the right background. I have been making some testings here. You can see here this one, for example. I already made this with high resolution with different colors, but I think I still need to refine, or to I mean mainly to add more imperfections, more I don't know, more color variations to make it very boring. So trying to get this kind of stains that the original model has. For example, here we see here we are having not a completely flat blue color. We are having different tones with a more shaded or darker effect in the border, things like that. So I'm still having, for example, you can see here the color variation of this part with different blues, with different greens. So it's gonna be fun, and it will takes also a bit of time for create a good render. Not yet. But this is I think this is the oldest that I made, but I still need to play a little bit more with Keysha. What do you think is gonna be hard to get? Yeah, yeah. This thing has been a very long way. I mean, it is still a long way because, but I am enjoying the process. So I will try to, and also I will try to take some detailed renders of the heads and not so close, because I know that I can be closest to the original, thinking about more things, but I don't want to put more things on the modeling or on the sculpting. I just want to be focused on the rendering. So maybe I will try to, but I will, for example, I will need to paint a little bit more here for getting this more color here. Maybe I will try to have a better results here on the scales. Well, it's going to be time consuming, but I'm sure that I will enjoy the process if I'm able to get a good render. I think the pieces deserves the time and the effort for getting a good product. Thank you. So anyway, I also love the NPR renders. I already did some. I did some ZBrush renders as this one, with or as this one, or this one. So this is the renders are going to be endless, I think, because this kind of render looks, for me, I love to make this kind of renders also, that which are between realism illustration. And you can see here I need to fix the gaps here and there, but you can also have this kind of renders, detailed renders, where you can get different when you are having this. And it's going to be fun. I will try to, because I've been working on this during the past weeks, so I will try to leave it for some days. I will take it again maybe 1 week ahead, and I will start working on it, thinking about more improvements and better quality of the renders. Ooh, I don't know. Good question, Jair. This is the one of the things that I was thinking about when I was trying to replicate this with a digital tool, and I was thinking about how much time it took in reality in terms of casting or modeling, or I don't know, because I think You can visit this museum. I will be there in the future. I don't know how far, but I'm sure that I will be here. I will visit this museum when you will find this real piece. When I will get the piece in front of me, I will try to figure out how they made it in terms of, in some cases the piece was solid, in other pieces, if the piece is composed by different pieces, all of them welded together, I don't know, because it's going to be very interesting to watch this piece in reality in front of you. I will try to keep as more pictures as possible. I think the people of the museum is gonna give me a shout. Yeah, it's breathtaking. And you should think about the size. I was talking about the size of this piece. It's around 21 centimeter high from top to bottom. It's a huge, a massive piece of jewelry. It's very big. And I don't know if this is gold plated or it is not gold. I don't know the material of this. I don't know. I think gold. I'm sure that it is not gold. I guess, I don't know, I'm not sure, but I think it should be something like bronze or copper. I don't know. And this is how far I could go with this thing. So hope you enjoy the different streamings, and I will be posting images and renders in the future days. What did I hear about this piece of jewelry? Just finding jobs from Lalique. If you go to, for example, to Pinterest and you write Lalique jewelry, so you will find here this thing in first place, and you will find a lot of details, a lot of designs. But I think this is one of his famous ones. Also the drawings, incredible. The job. This one is also very famous. This is Dragonfly Woman. This is very famous, and I saw in reality. For example, this one, I love this one with the bees. And I saw in reality one of them, I don't know if it's here somewhere, and it's amazing. But I think this is the most famous one that he has. Or maybe here you can see this one. I don't know if this one is another. This is a Medusa head with the snakes on top. And you want to go here, this museum is based in Lisbon, in Portugal. And you go to the Gulbenkian Museum. You can go and visit this museum, Gulbenkian Museum. It is based in Lisbon. It has a very huge collection of different kind of arts, and one of them is about jewelry. And inside of the jewelry collection, you will find different pieces from Lalique. And this trip is gonna be a must for me this year. Okay, so again, thank you everybody. Hope you enjoyed this streaming on my previous streamings about this design. I will post the final piece on ZBrush Central, of course, and I really appreciate your support during the streamings, and I hope you will be here next month watching more stuff about jewelry with ZBrush. So take care everybody, bye.